Good afternoon and welcome. Welcome indeed to a home edition of the Mark Moses Show, as we're always broadcasting live from the Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Yes, take back control of your life. And if you want more information on Anidjar and Levine Accident Attorneys, go to my website at markmosesshow.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe for all of my social media podcasting brands. Now, as I said, yes, broadcasting from home. I have been running around nonstop for the last, I'd say, 2 months. And Alan Zlotorzynski joins me right now. Alan, I think it finally caught up to me after being up till about 1 o'clock in the morning last night. Yeah, I woke up, I said, I cannot go into the office. Alan Zlotorzynski-Brevard Sports Network. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing great, and what's the best way I could put this? Okay, so let me think about this for a minute. So you woke up today after your Bears were on Monday Night Football playing the Washington Commanders in a game that you've been looking forward to since Jesus was a baby, really since last year, right? Since the Hail Mary. You sign a kicker who was cut a month ago. He hits the game-winning kick. You win with no time. And there you sit expecting me to believe that somehow you woke up a little under the weather today?
Dude, I'd say about 5:30, 6 o'clock. I was like, I'm just like, I'm feeling a little woozy. Like I really,
Right.
and it's one of those moments, and I feel like I'm not alone in this. Monday Night Football, you get home 5:30, 6 o'clock, and you're like, where's the game? And you're like,
Right.
oh no, I have to wait another 2 hours for this. If it was any other game, I would have gone to bed at about 7 p.m. last night. I would have just passed out. I wouldn't have done anything. But I said, no, like you said, I've been waiting 12 months for this. 12 long months. And I said, I don't care. I have to stay up for this. And I know you have to respect me as a sports fan because we've all been there. So today, this is not the Cincinnati Reds logo. This is not your local logo. No, this is my logo. I usually do not show team colors on this show, but I make an exception because the referees try to screw us over. I'm sorry.
This is what you call an emotional dump day, Mark.
Yes.
Where, things have been so busy and it all culminated for you last night with a Bears victory. So you wake up today and you wake up this morning early and you have no adrenaline left. Everything has run its course, and the human body needs a day to kind of collect itself.
Did I sent the email?
Some people call that a hangover. I know that's not the case. I know that's not the case with you today, but yeah, there you go.
I sent an email. You do this in the workplace. You send the email to the whole staff. Hey, I'm going to be working home from the office today.
Right.
I'm a little under the weather. And we have this big songwriter festival coming up this weekend in Cocoa Beach. So I don't want to get anyone else sick. So don't worry. You're not alone. Other coworkers are texting me, busting my balls. Hey, I noticed the Bears won. No correlation, right, Mark? Same thing. Oh,
Right.
man.
Well,
Look,
I had to do it, but all in all, I hope you feel better. But if I could just take a minute here before we get into talking sports, I would like to give you a quick update on Caleb.
okay, yeah, go for it, buddy.
So the good news is that as I sit here in the Brevard Sports Network studios talking to you, he can hear me. He came home today.
Awesome, dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So now he's still got a very long road ahead of him and multiple surgeries, and he's going to have home health care and all that stuff. But the bottom line is there's a difference between healing and a hospital bed, and there's a difference between healing and your own bed. So Caleb is home today. And also, I'd like to wish my beautiful daughter a happy 27th birthday today.
That is very nice. Your daughter's a very nice lady. She is. That is an awesome. I still can't believe she's that old. That blows my mind, but it's true. And hey, dude, that is awesome news about Caleb. I know, like you said, I know he still has a long recovery, but at least you got out of the hospital. That's progress. That really is. And did you guys have, I'll put you on the spot. Weren't you guys having some fundraiser as well? Was that going on today?
Yeah,
Or
that's today as well, from 4 o'clock to close at Sonny's Barbecue, 4 locations in Brevard County. They're going to donate a portion of the proceeds to Caleb's medical bills. And it's funny because I'm driving home with him in the car, picking him up, and Cigna or whatever his insurance company is calls, and the calls are already starting. So
yeah.
it's a wild process, Mark. And if you can help, please do.
That is very nice. Caleb does a great job. Everyone there with Brevard Sports Network. I'm talking to the man who runs it pretty much, and a great friend of mine here on the Mark Mosey Show. All right, I just want to go over this. So I texted you last night this thing in sports where I said, and I loved your response. I said that was 3 hours of like going into the dentist chair. I did not enjoy 1 minute of it. I did not. And it was just like pain. And I just wanted it to end one way or another. I was thinking we were going to lose. And I loved your response where you're like, it was like playoff hockey. So if you could explain what you wrote to me, I loved it, man. It was awesome.
When your team is playing in a game like that, or you are the national, you don't get this feeling on a Sunday at 1 o'clock. But you get this feeling on Monday Night Football. You don't even get it on Thursday nights. Maybe Sundays and Monday nights, you get this pit in your stomach because you're on national. I had it against the Bills, and I wanted to throw up afterwards. But I mean, it's like being in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs in overtime. You don't enjoy watching it. You hate it. You absolutely hate it. Unless your team scores that goal that sends you to the next round. Now, if you're a fan of another hockey team and you don't have a dog in the hunt, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Like, I thoroughly enjoyed that football game last night. I really did. But I'm not a fan of the Bears.
No, I get it. You love the Ravens. That's your team. I completely understand. And it's one of those games, like you said, it's been 12 months. 12 months of eating that game they should have won last year. That's how crazy this is without the play at the end.
I can remember our Tuesday conversation after last year. Weren't you at an airport?
Yeah, I was coming back from Anthony Knockreiner's wedding.
Right.
I was at the Orlando airport at the new Terminal C, and they scored. Everyone's sending me the text messages. Congratulations. Great win. We're going to go to 4-2 or 5-2. This is great. And then that play happened. And yeah, I had to eat that for 12 straight months. So people are asking me one of these things like, okay, did you get your revenge? Kind of. They're still going to play that play on social media and TV for the next 300 years. But this is what I'm going to tell you. This is with momentum in football. And we're going to talk high school football here in a second. College, NFL, doesn't matter. That win last year by Washington propelled them to go on a run and get that motivation to keep winning. And the Bears went on like a 10-game losing streak. Now, with that win, I think when you look at the schedule, and I know we're going to take on your Ravens moving forward, I think they got a chance here to start rattling off some wins against some beatable teams, just like Tampa Bay's got a chance now after they get through this weekend to go on some wins here. Dude, they're the second team in 100 years to win back-to-back games with the same score. One of the most bizarre stats I've ever seen. Back-to-back games, walk-off field goal wins, 25-24. And I'm going to say this on record. I know I'm supposed to be interviewing you, but I'm just going to say this. Jaden Daniels is fantastic. He is a generational talent. He is a superstar. He has a chance to be great. There are times in that game last night, he looks light years ahead of Caleb Williams. And I will admit that. He looks like a super duper star, future MVP, and he makes Washington a contender in the NFC. But you can't turn the ball over 3 times. And Caleb Williams didn't. That's the difference.
Last night was an opportunity to watch 4 really good young quarterbacks.
Yes.
In the National Football League. I watched that entire Falcons-Bills game last night. And Michael Penix Jr., I mean, look, Bijan, Penix Jr., London, listen, the Falcons got a good team, buddy.
Yes.
I mean, they do. I still think the Bucks are the class of that division, but for one, I can't stand Buffalo. So I thoroughly enjoyed watching the Falcons put it on them last night, and that score wasn't as close as that game wasn't as close as that score might indicate. I thought Atlanta dominated that football game last night. And what do we know about the Buffalo Bills now? Let's take a look at who have the Bills beaten? The Ravens. I mean, you and I could score on the Ravens defense, right? The Jets, right? I mean, who have the Bills really beaten, Mark Moses? You know what I'm saying?
No one. This thing is wide open. It is.
Yeah.
And it's like your Ravens. It's so frustrating. It's like a couple plays, you're right there. You're right. I mean, you're right in this. I don't know what Lamar Jackson's status is right now, but the whole thing. Look, Kansas City is 3-3, dominated Detroit, should have beaten Jacksonville. They could go on a run and get right back to the AFC title game. They really could. So that draft class, Alan, with those quarterbacks, this is a little shocking right now. This is like, I mean, 1983, you and me hammer all the time with Marino and Jim Kelly and John Elway. Dude, the only guy who doesn't look like he's doing well is J.J. McCarthy because he's injured. Everyone else, Drake May's in first place with the Patriots. Penix out of Tampa, Florida, looks like a stud. Caleb Williams is figuring it out. Jane Daniels is a stud. I've never seen this before. Like, this many great players from one draft, it is wild. It is. So, thank you for letting me vent. That's what I just wanted to do. Thank you, Alan.
Listen, you forewarned me last week that this was going to happen.
It was so, dude, I won't do this moving forward. I don't want to be a jerk, but I got so many messages, which I should have gotten a year ago. I've been waiting, again, 12 months. I don't even play on the team. Let's clarify this. I just watch every game. And, dude, that was big. So we're going. I have not gone to an NFL game in person for my Bears since 2011. I believe my dad had the tickets from about 1980 to maybe 2013. And the last time I went to a game was 2011. We beat the Falcons when they had Julio Jones as a rookie. And then I moved to Omaha, Nebraska right after the game. That's the last time I've gone to see them play in person. We are flying up to Cincinnati. We're going to kick the crap out of Joe Flacco and the Bengals. A crazy statement to say. Hopefully, I'm praying no Joe Burrow, but we're going the first weekend in November. I'm ready.
I think a lot depends on where the Bengals are at that point as to whether we see Joe Burrow or not. Yeah, listen, the one thing I'm going to say about the NFL is this. I hate the fact that has it always been a league in which you have to have a quarterback? Yes, of course. But it has become such a league, Mark. I look at the Ravens, and I'm just using them as an example. And even if I wasn't a fan, I would use them as an example. Lamar Jackson, it doesn't just make up for 10 other guys. He makes up for 52 other guys. And, and I mean, that's a fact, Mark. And the same holds true for Josh Allen, and the same holds true for Joe Burrow. I mean, they can have their $160 million wide receivers there, but they ain't got nobody to throw them the football in Cincinnati. And the same holds true in Kansas City. We saw it in Washington when Jaden Daniels went down earlier this season. I don't know how to react to that. I mean, I don't like it, is I guess what I'm trying to say.
Who's Baker Mayfield throwing to? I mean, Ted Johnson and Sterling Shepard? That's who they beat. That's who they won on Sunday with.
But there's a difference between Baker Mayfield throwing to Johnson & Johnson, right? Than, say, who's the backup out of Florida there?
Right.
Kyle
You mean
Trask?
Yeah. Is he still there?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Better than Kyle Trask throwing to Johnson & Johnson. At least with Mayfield throwing to those two, you got a chance to win. If it's Kyle Trask Hanging L.
Okay, here are my picks so far. After what I've seen through 6 weeks or so, how many of our games we played around the NFL? Comeback player of the year is Daniel Jones. There's no doubt of it. What he's done with the Colts is incredible. Wasn't supposed to be the starter going into training camp. And the Giants said, this guy, you can't win with him. You can make a case, comeback player of the year, maybe MVP consideration, what he's done with the Colts. MVP frontrunner, it's Baker Mayfield. I can't. He looks like, so it's interesting. I was talking with Luke Easterling, who loves the Bucs. We talk every Monday. I said he reminds me of Brett Favre. It's just that moxie and the gunslinger. And Luke brought up a great point. I want your thoughts on this. He goes, he runs better than Brett Favre. He's more elusive and he can run around. Do you feel that way when you look at Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, I do. And I think Brett Favre is a good comparison with Baker Mayfield because he's just as tough as Brett was.
Yeah.
But Luke is right. He's not only a better runner, but he's more athletic than Brett Favre was. Brett was a little limited at times because don't forget about that car accident that he had when he was in college, where he got sliced up pretty good inside. So Brett had to kind of be careful a little bit. He didn't, but he had to. But no, I definitely think that's a great comparison, and I think Baker's more athletic. He's just as tough, but Favre had a better arm.
They signed him for $6 million with incentives. Anyone could have had him. Anyone could. And you know who needs him? The Cleveland Browns could use Baker Mayfield right now. But
Jesus, Mark. We could say the Cleveland Browns for the last 44 starting quarterbacks since 2000. Mark, that is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard for a professional sport. Any professional sports franchise. 44 freaking starting quarterbacks since 2000.
I saw a clip of a sports radio station in Cleveland, and they were breaking down the team. I don't even know how you would do that. I have 20 years of experience, and I'm a little mind-boggled. What do you do every day? Just every day, there's no hope. There's nothing. Like, what are you going to do? So Daniel Jones, comeback player of the year. MVP favorite for me is Baker Mayfield. I think Ben Johnson, I'm going to be a homer for coach of the year. After everything that happened last year with Matt Eberflus, all the games we blew, it's the most dysfunctional. Forget the Cowboys for 5 seconds. My team's the most dysfunctional. And this year, it's the ball. I can't stress this enough. The ball it's going our way again. It's so wild. And look, we were 4-2 last year. That's what's so funny about it. At the same, we were 4-2 last year, and then lost to the Hail Mary.
The only one I disagree with there is Ben Johnson because I'd probably take Kyle Shanahan.
All right, Kyle. Okay, you're taking Kyle Shanahan. Look, they are 4-2. They were in the game against Tampa Bay. Mac Jones is their quarterback, and he's throwing for 300 yards.
Nobody, Mark. They had absolutely nobody playing football. And they suffered another injury to a star on Sunday. So, to be
it's a good pick.
Yeah, I like Kyle.
Okay, look, they're all great stories. Hey, I don't even know the name of the Colts coach. I have no idea. And again, if the playoffs started today, the Colts would be the 1 seed.
I know.
The one.
You know what I think is crazy is the fact that if I'm the Mara family owning the New York Giants and I'm watching Daniel Jones do this and I'm watching Saquon Barkley of Philadelphia go win Super Bowls, I'm chopping the head off of everybody from the coaching staff up in New York. I just am. Brian Daboll, Brian Daboll could not. You mean to tell me with some of the receivers that the Giants had, Brian Daboll couldn't get this done with Daniel Jones?
See, that's what's going to be interesting is they dominated the Eagles on Thursday Night Football with Scattaboo, look, I love how he dropped in the draft. But then also, hey, they won. Look, there's also starting the rookie quarterback from Ole Miss. They won the game. Yeah, I agree with you. There's one game you can upset someone in the NFL. Can you do this long term? And by the way, I didn't tell you this. So I picked up my brother at the airport in Orlando Thursday night. He came in at like 10:30 at night. So it was pouring rain horribly, and I'm sitting in the North Economy lot waiting for his flight to come in. So I'm in the car. I have Sirius XM. I'm listening to the Eagles radio network. High comedy. They were in shock. They're like, what the hell is this? And when Hurts threw that pick in the red zone, priceless. That's what I want you to know, Alan. Priceless.
Well,
It's the
at
best.
least, well, I'm sure you've heard by now on social media the Detroit Tigers announcer about. You haven't heard this, huh? So the
No.
great Detroit Tigers announcer, and his name, it's on my Facebook page.
Okay.
Hot microphone after the game the other night against the Mariners that goes 15 fabulous innings. The Tigers lose. So they go to a commercial break on the radio, and he says, they want me to do what? And then he drops the F-bomb, and then he goes, F that post-game show. Instant classic. I'll send it to you, brother.
That is, dude, we've all been there. We've all been there.
Oh, yes, we have.
Look, there are times, and look, I give you credit. There are times like you're supposed to be doing your post-game show, and, there's horrible rain delays, and the equipment gets screwed up, and you're just like, I love when you write, sorry, no post-game show. I apologize.
Post-game. You know I'm frustrated, bro. Right?
Okay, let me ask you that then. We're here with Alan Zlotorzynski. So you were supposed to call maybe one of the big games here in October where you were supposed to do O'Galley, Merritt Island. It got rained out. Was that like a couple hours before kickoff? What happened Friday?
Yeah, I get the notification about 4:15 Friday that they would not be playing that football game Friday night. That turf at Merritt Island floods. It does. I don't know if have you ever seen an AstroTurf flood?
Whoa! Time out. Last week, let's clarify this. Last week I asked you. Now you're laughing. You know what I'm gonna say. I said, hey, what about the weather elements if it rains horribly? And you look at me, stupid Mark. Oh, if you only left your bunker once in a while.
I did say
that turf. You rolled your eyes at me. And look, I didn't want the game to be canceled. I didn't.
Say that. I wish you'd have had that clip. That's funny. Because that's exactly what I did. But you know what? You're right. My apologies, sir.
It's okay, man. It's all right.
Yeah, I mean, turfs that flood, and when the water gets up on, they literally float. Like they get up and they look like they're, it's crazy. But so they'll play that game November the 4th, which is the last makeup date before the playoffs start. Let's see, 5 would be Wednesday, 6, 7. Playoffs start November 14th. So they still have time to play that game on the 4th and get a good 10-day break in.
Okay. I have a tough question then. This is where I get confused. So it's that makeup date, like you're saying. Do they already announce the playoffs before they would play that game November 4th?
They won't announce the playoffs until that Friday or maybe that Wednesday. I don't know when they're going to do it sometime that week. The FHSAA will. But that's going to be a big game. Now, Cocoa was another one that we had that got their field terrible in weather conditions, not natural turf, it's grass. Cocoa may need to play this game, Mark. The Villages come to town on Friday night. The Villages are 8-0. They're averaging 45 points a game. This is not the Villages team that Cocoa beat 54-0 last year. So if the Villages come in and beat Cocoa, the Villages will win the district championship, and Astronaut and Cocoa will battle for second. And if that happens, Cocoa's going to need to play that game against the Popco on November 3rd.
Okay, so I just want to clarify this. If you're watching this and you don't live in Florida, and we do have people that do this, it rained last week. It rained all day, every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday into kickoff. So it sucks you didn't get to play. You're going to make it good because those conditions were awful last Friday. They really were. So did you guys call any game last Friday night?
Yeah, we did Satellite, who was undefeated. They played West Nassau and lost. They lost. West Nassau was 7-1.
Mm.
Satellite was 7-0, and West Nassau, who averages 320 rushing yards a game, came over to Satellite and won 26-13. Scorps gave a really good effort, tough effort, but man, that West Nassau team can really run the football.
Okay, so first loss. Hey, look, lose now and
Yeah.
and learn from your mistakes. So, all right, weather permitting, this Friday night, I'm going to bring this up. Okay, let's see if we can do this. All right, what are the 3 games? You see them on the screen, but Alan, I'll let you take over. What are the 3 games you guys are going to be calling?
We got 4 actually this week. Anthony and I are gonna be doing Coco and Apopka for that district championship. We also got another district championship as Melbourne Central Catholic will host Orlando Christian Prep. The winner of that game will win a district championship. We've also got Seabreeze at Vieira, and we're gonna do some 8-man football this week as well. Mark, as Eastland Christian visits number 3 ranked in the state in 8-man football, Merritt Island Christian.
Okay. You usually do this on Tuesday. All right. So there's the schedule. We'll post everything. You can check it out with Brevard Sports Network. All right. Do you have the latest rankings? Who are the best teams? What do you got, buddy?
Right here in front of me, bud. So MCC is in, okay? They are 7. Listen, if I think MCC could literally go 1-8 and still make the playoffs. MCC has played the 10th toughest schedule in the state of Florida this year. So they could literally probably go 1-8 and still make the playoffs. In 2A, Mark, where Coco and Astronaut rest, it's all going to come down to Friday night. It just is. Right now, if you look at that, the Villages are the top team in the region. Coco is 4th. Astronaut is 5th. Coco's got to beat the Villages. I mean, that's what it comes down to. In 3A, it's O'Galley, Merritt Island, and Titusville. In 4A, it's Rockledge. Heritage isn't there yet in 5A, but they will be. And in 6A, it's Vieira and Melbourne. That's our playoff teams right now.
That is awesome. I want to end with this with you. And I've never said this before. And it's not against you. It's about the current state of football. And I want to get your opinion on this. I don't know what it is, but this fall we've gone, it's like been about 2 months straight of high school, college, NFL. I really enjoy talking high school football. I love the NFL. I'm a super homer, if you couldn't tell. And the NFL is always exciting. I'm a little down on college football. Now, the Gators are awful. Florida State is getting exposed as being bad. Hey, Miami's number 2. UCF doesn't know what identity they are. South Florida's playing well. I feel like high school knows what the hell they're doing as a sport. The NFL, hey, you got to win, get the seeding, win your division, get to the playoffs. With this 12-team playoff and NIL and transfer portal, and I'm kind of like this feeling like I'm a little down on college football. And I love the sport, but I think there's something wrong here with the current state of it.
Well, I'll say there's something wrong with it. And I don't think you need to look any further than James Franklin. Right? I mean, Mark, 8 days ago, James Franklin was a top 5 football team hosting Oregon in a whiteout game at home with national championship type implications. 8 days later, this guy's out of a freaking job. How does that happen? You know what I'm saying? So I think the pressure, I think the portal, the money, all of it has added up to where college football is stuck somewhere in between high stakes high school football and low value NFL football, if you know what I'm saying. So they don't quite have an identity anymore, Mark. College football used to have an identity, right? It was you went out there, you did it for love. It was when you thought of college football, you thought of, oh, Nelly, and oh, Elk. College football meant tradition. College football meant you had 10, 11, and in recent years, 12 shots to win a national championship, right? 12 games. That was it. And then a bowl game. So I think what's happened to college football, Mark, is there's been too much change too soon, and I think it's stripped it of its tradition. And right now, college football is searching for an identity that nobody can seem to put a finger on.
I agree with you. No one knows what the hell the conference is anymore. Who is my rival? Who am I playing?
And nobody cares.
No, look, Florida State, I think is playing at Stanford. I could be wrong here, and it's like a 10:30 kickoff at night. Coast versus coast. Again, in the SEC, winning the SEC is a big deal, and it should be a big deal. You're the best team in the best conference in college football. Now, if you're a Big Ten fan, you'll disagree. But, like, that's supposed to mean something. And Florida should play Georgia every year, right? Like this. And now they sent this email where they're like, all right, well, this year we're going to play these teams, but next year we're going to play these teams. What are you talking about? That's the part that drives me crazy.
And that's the tradition I'm talking about that's being stripped away from this sport. You just can't do it. But they are. And I think the reason, Mark, is there's so much money involved.
Yeah.
I mean, the money is sick. Really, if do a deep dive on how much money is involved in college football, from the programs to the television to all of it, okay? It will it's mind-numbing, the amount of money.
Think of it this way. So Auburn announced last week they're going to move their opener, take away a home game, and play in Atlanta for some game. And they say it's for NIL purposes to help the players. All right. Okay. Guess what? You're still Auburn. You're still going to have 4 losses. How much NIL do you need after a while? How about I don't like the idea you're taking. Look, I don't like this for Jacksonville, where they give up home games to play in London all the time.
And do you know why these places have – I mean, NFL stadiums don't have 103,000 seats, right? But college football stadiums do. And you know why? Because people put their asses in them seats, right? Yeah. They do it week after week after week after week. That is that's the beauty of this game, Mark, is that every town, whether it's Division I, Division II, Division III, JUCO, you could walk. I don't know if you've ever been to Valdosta, Georgia on a Saturday. I used to go up with Florida Tech all the time. And I actually one time drove up ahead of the bus because I wanted to experience Valdosta on a game day. Now, Valdosta is a Division II powerhouse. They have been for quite some time. But you could virtually, the entire town is shut down. You walk around, everybody's having a tailgate in front of their house. They don't care who you are, what color jersey you're wearing. You're eating ribs, you're eating, their parades. I mean, that's every Saturday for a Division II football school in the Sunshine State Conference, right? But that's college football, and that's what's being taken away, Mark. Money is ripping this part of the game away, and it's hurting this game because fans like you and me, that's what we love about this game, is the tradition, the pageantry, and the fact that Saturdays used to mean something. Every Saturday meant something. And now, Mark, you can play 12 Saturdays, and you can still be a college football playoff team if you lose 2-3 games.
Yeah, I know. Very well said. Alan Zlotorzynski-Brevard Sports Network. Real quick, you got volleyball coming up for the rest of the week or
Not
no?
this week, buddy.
Yeah. All right. I thought I'd ask. I know. Look, I got to ask these questions. Next week, here's what we're going to do. Next week, I want to have a discussion with you on how Brevard County and now St. Lucie County have said we're going to have pro soccer and we're building new stadiums. What? Yeah. Dude, we have a stadium in Cocoa, a baseball complex no one's using. We'll break that down next week.
Real quick, I actually got asked to do some broadcasting with that. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah. Alan, have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. All right?
Appreciate you, man.